Hello, everybody. So today I'll be talking about the United Kingdom. My name is Sadie, and I do apologize for this presentation kind of being a little long. I had to put a bunch of there is a bunch of culture in the United Kingdom, and it can consist of many different cultures put into one. So I do talk a little bit about all of them, and it may be longer than usual or the rest of them, but here we go. So the context of this is I'll put how the UK originated, like what it's known for, their locations, their flags, history, languages, religion, clothing, their celebrations and holidays, traditions, foods, music, sports, artifacts that are actually in their Britain Museum, famous places, politics, and their healthcare. So how was the UK originated? So its full name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It reflects the political union of different countries over time. In 1701, it was called the United Kingdom of Great Britain when combining the United Kingdom and of England and Scotland. In 1801, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland is when they were combining Northern Ireland. From my understanding, Northern Ireland is the only part of Ireland that is part of the UK. The rest of Ireland is not. It's just Ireland. In 1922, it was named the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, when most of Ireland left to become republic but kept the north. So its location. The location in the UK um, is a country located in northern Western Europe. It consists of four countries, including England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. It is surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, North Sea, English Channel, and the Irish Sea. Their capital is London, and which is located in England. Their flags. Their flags are very significant to why they have their current UK flag now. So the flag of England, it's a white with a red cross. It signifies St. George's cross. Um, a little bit about St. George is that he was a Roman soldier with a Christian martyr from the 3rd century. And St. George was also known for mythically slaying a dragon to save the princess. Obviously, mythical. And then the flag of Scotland. It is blue with the white diagonal cross and it signifies St. Andrew, which St. Andrew was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus who was crucified on the X-shaped cross. I'll go a little bit into religion a little bit later in the presentation, so there's just that. And overall, there's also the Union flag, which is in 1606. It combines England and Scotland combined when James VI of Scotland also became James I of England. The same person just was of Scotland and part of England. So all combined, we get the current UK flag. It's called the Union Jack. It combines England, Scotland, and Ireland with the red diagonal cross. And history, a little bit about the history. The first original inhabitants of Britain are the Celtic tribes, followed by the Romans, which occupied Britain for almost 400 years. The British Empire is one of the largest empires in history, having colonies around the world. They played big roles in World War I and World War II, and in 1940, the British Empire contained a fourth of the world's population and a fifth of its landmass. This included Ireland, who was also at the time also in war with Germany. So I include this because this also goes back to the Remembrance Sunday that I will mention later in their celebrations. And I think this is important to show which world wars they were in and how much of Ireland they considered part of them even before Ireland became its own country. Languages. For languages, there's languages in general and there's accents. So languages spoken English, Welsh, Scottish Gaelic, Scots, Cornish, Irish, and Ulster Scot. They're all different. They all have similarities to each other. They all have different accents or they have accents combined. Um, and yeah, let me see. The accents there are more than 30 of accents. I only listed a few. I will try and put my link of this presentation in the description or in the comments to see so you guys can have an example of this. This video will be long, really long if I put all of the videos. but they are videos from famous people, maybe famous actors, that display the Cockney, Geordie, Scouse, Brummie, Yorkshire, Scottish, and Northern Irish accent. And although I put that there's only 30 of them, there may be more, but the more considered like Brummie and Scouse together or Brummie and Yorkshire accent together, depending on some words or some ways they may speak to people. Religion, going back to religion, there is a guarantee of religious freedom within the UK. I know that with most countries around the world that you may learn about, is that their religious freedom is non-existent since they are required to follow their traditions, their generations with religion. In the UK, people are free to practice or not as what they wish. The most popular is Christianity, but Angelicalism or the Church of England is the main religion practice. I looked it up. It was basically kind of like Christianity, but in their own way. I can't go into further detail without knowing proper knowledge, but yeah. Then there's Scotland. It has this Church of Scotland, the Presbyterian Church, the Roman Catholic ism, um, is significant in England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And then there's also the Islam, Hinduism, Sikhism, Judaism, and Buddhism. There's a bunch of those religions that are also practiced in the UK. Clothing. So for clothing, obviously Scotland has their own, England has their own, Wales has their own, a bunch of them have their own, but they're all significant because they are part of the UK. So Scotland, they have the kilt traditional garments for weddings. They're paired with jackets, sporrans, which you see, the small pouches, and the patterns. For England, it has no strict attire for everyday wear, but historical clothing, they like to keep it with their professional, their formal events, morning suits. They have elegant dresses with the elaborate hats. For Wales, they have their red shawl, their kind of Welsh hat. Their Welsh hat for us kind of symbols a top hat. In Northern Ireland, they have some similarities from Northern Ireland versus Ireland in general that are UK specific. So the traditional Irish dress is kind of different than the other Ireland dress, and it's mostly used for their cultural performances. Celebrations. For the UK, they have celebrations just like us. They celebrate Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, Halloween, but not Thanksgiving like Americans. Obviously, they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Northern Ireland because that's where St. Patrick was from. And then there's Scotland. Scotland has its own New Year celebration called Hogmanay. The Hogmanay parade is just dressing up as their historical ancestors and all of that and just marching in a parade. Then there's the temple bar that shows the parade in Northern Ireland. For tradition, they have their afternoon tea. From my knowledge, we have tea here in the US, but their tea is more milk based, more sugary based. They have it's kind of like how we enjoy coffee. They have royal ceremonies such as the trooping the color of coronation, coronations you've seen for the monarchs. They have bonfire night. It's kind of like our 4th of July for the US. But we got to remember that they always don't have the heat when we have the heat and vice versa. Like in the summer for us is not summer always for them. Sometimes, but not always. And then they have Remembrance Sunday, like I mentioned, for the World Wars, sometime in November. This year specifically, it's on November 9th. If I remember correctly, it's on a Monday sometimes. Sometimes it's on a Sunday. It is a minute of silence for those who fought in the war. And then, like I have pictured, is Shrove Tuesday or Pancake Day. I'm unsure of why they call it Pancake Day or why they enjoy pancakes specifically, but they always do it the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday for us. Like we have Ash Wednesday, um, for certain religions. Then there's foods. There's some foods that are specific to England, specific to Scotland, specific to Wales. For England, it's fish and chips, roast dinners, only typically on Sundays, the start of the new week. And then there's Yorkshire pudding and tea. In Scotland, there's haggis, and in Wales, there's Welsh cakes. For music, this is one of the main things that inspired me for this presentation. Music, they in English they use the fiddle, concertina, and the accordion. For Scottish, they use Irish music, including bagpipes and fiddles and harps. And Welsh specifically is known for their choral traditions, and they have their famous Eisteddfod, a festival where solo vocal competitions are held. In this picture you see here, it's not just Wales in general, for the festival. It could be all cultures around the UK. I'm unsure if everybody is allowed to join, but they do have those vocal competitions held yearly. And then also from the UK, I can't forget all of the iconic bands, solo artists that do come from the UK is the Beatles, Elton John, Rolling Stones, Queen came from the UK. One of my favorites, Led Zeppelin. It includes people, stars like Elton John and David Bowie. You know, one of the main reasons I like this conversation for music and their culture, um, is because I liked One Direction a lot, but One Direction actually one of their members isn't from the UK, so I decided not to put that and brag about them. But that's part of their culture since I know they use a lot of their dialect, and a lot of their dialect does not consist of their accents and where they came from, their native tongue, which some do, some don't. And sports. So for sports, they have football events like Soccer Aid. It was established by Robbie Williams, who is also a singer, I'm pretty sure, by Jonica Wilkes. They raise money for charity with celebrities versus professionals. So here I have two picked. It's Diamond Sheldon for Soccer Aid. She's a semi-professional football player, and she's going against the musicians or singers or celebrities in general. And this is Louis Thompson, my favorite. He's for Soccer Aid, and obviously I put that he's a musician. I also know that all of these musicians, all of these celebrities that are playing against the professional football players, they are more towards their football and soccer, as we call it, towards their football, and they're actually most likely interested. So it's not just, oh, professional players are definitely going to win. Like these celebrities might win as well. And then there's the common ones like rugby, cricket, tennis. Tennis is most common in the US, but not cricket or rugby. I put a picture of cricket, I put a picture of the tennis. I know professional player Oliver Golding. I've seen him play a couple times. Um, so there's that. I don't know if you guys know him, but there's a picture of him playing tennis. And then we get to artifacts in the Britain Museum. There's the marbles from the Athens, Greece, from the early 19th century that is portrayed in the Britain Museum. There's Tipu's tiger. It's a gift from Tipu Sultan of Mysore from the French, taken after the British defeated Tipu Sultan. And many of these Britain artifacts are actually from around, either that they've taken them or they were given to them. And then there's a Rosetta Stone. It's ancient Egyptian stela. It's deciphering hieroglyphics or hieroglyphs. And they use this to learn how to read the hieroglyphs. And then there's the Benin bronzes. The bronze and copper plates from originally from the Kingdom of Benin, which is now Nigeria. It was taken during the Britain invasion of the Benin city in 1897. And then there's the famous places in the UK. There's the Tower of London. It's located in London, north bank of River Thames. It's next to the Tower Bridge. It's built in 1066 by William the Conqueror, and it's over 950 years old. It could be served as a royal palace, the fortress, a prison, treasury, and it even has a zoo, and is home of the crown jewels. Then there's the Buckingham Palace. It is located in the city of Westminster. It was built in 1703 for the Duke of Buckingham. It became the monarch residence in 1837 for Queen Victoria and is home of the current British monarch, which is King Charles. Then there's a Windsor Castle, which is located in Berkshire, England. It is 22 miles from central London. It is built in the 11th century by William the Conqueror in 1070. It is the oldest and largest inhabited castle, and Queen Elizabeth II used it as one of her own main residencies. And then there's the Edinburgh Castle. The Edinburgh Castle is a top castle rock in Edinburgh. It is the capital of Scotland. It is on volcanic rock, and you can mostly see it from the main parts of the city, like up top. And I've also seen this cool fact is that they think that most parts of the castle is actually haunted, so they do have ghost tours available. And then Big Ben. Big Ben is actually a nickname. The original name is Great Bell. They use Big Ben to refer to the entire sorry, tower instead of just the clock. It is located in Westminster, London. Built in 1859, also rang for the first time July 11th, 1859. Has famous chimes, is reliable and accurate, and it weighs over 13 tons. Then the Stonehenge. It is located in Wiltshire, England, north of Salisbury. It was built roughly between 3000 BCE and 2000 BCE. And some of these stones weigh more than 25 tons and are transported up to 150 miles from anywhere in the UK. And another fun fact is that nobody knows why it was truly built. People think that it's just to be a tourist place or it was to help with the sun and the moon, like so they could tell what time it was since back then they didn't have clocks. And so there is just speculation of what it could really be. Then politics. There wasn't a whole lot I found on politics since a lot of it is covered, a lot of it you can't see, a lot of it's not archived. So the monarchy, which is the queen and king, is the older form of government in the Kingdom. The head of state, which is the head of the state. With the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the British monarchy has its debates and its role about the British government and the future of the royal family. Because honestly, the UK do not think that King Charles is up to be their monarch now, since he is already older. He didn't get to rule while he was younger, like his parent. And then they're also leading to maybe do a potential transition to a republican system. Since this isn't a cultural class, I put the regards of race and racism. So what I basically mean is that they'll cover what they want you to be instead of what you identify yourself as. Like they may put that some people are Hispanic or white when they're not really either. Same thing with blacks and African Americans. They may put that they're like part white just to help them out. And then here pictured, I have a picture of a telegram that documents stuff that they may have put away or personal information. Um, and yeah, there's that. And then their healthcare. I only added healthcare because healthcare is the most one of the most important. It's part of their culture since they get free healthcare and the US doesn't. But it is founded by the National Health Service. It provides universal and publicly funded healthcare. Since we know since COVID, there has been a boost in babies being born. They have lower capacity issues, and there's actually a lot of people asking for private insurance that they'll pay out of pocket for. And in general, the NHS only makes you pay out of pocket for cosmetic surgery. In conclusion, I really liked this presentation. It was a unique to see some similarities like traditions like Christmas and Easter that they celebrate like we do. Um, I didn't know that it was also a part of the UK was also part of Northern Ireland and why Ireland is its own country versus Northern Ireland. And like where the cutoff is, I'm unsure of that. Their accents are very cool to me because there's a lot of their accents in music, their culture, like their traditions, why they celebrate certain stuff. That's more important to me since it's all different, like it's English like us, but it's not English for them in the same way. For music, there's still more to learn about their instruments and what kind of songs they may play, like traditional songs. Within sports, I like the event that I put because it demonstrates that not all celebrities from the UK um go into something that they're unsure of. I know that there's a lot of influence in the world that are pressured to speak upon um certain circumstances that they might not know much information about. And then it's even concerning to see that their politics are not up to date with their government beliefs. And then same thing with healthcare. Um I think it's cool that they have free health insurance or they have free healthcare, I mean, but that they still want to pay out of pocket to have better healthcare, which also may not be as good as they believe. It may be the same, just they'll get treated more quicker. And then yeah, that's it. There's my references. Thank you for staying this long for my presentation. Um, I will try and link this below again. And yeah, thank you for your time.